This is the last page of the test content. This is actually number 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Maybe. I don't know. All right. A line passes through the points -1, 6, and 4, 13. Write an equation of this line in slope-intercept form. You're going to need point-slope form. Y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. That's what you need to do it with. And then I just plug in some stuff. I got to find the slope. Slope being y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 13 minus 6. Sitting pretty over 4 minus a -1. And this is going to be kind of ugly. 13 minus 6 is 7. That's a 5. Ugh, it's ugly. I'm just going to throw that point away. Make sure I did everything right, though. 13 minus 6 is 7. Pretty tired, but that's right. 5. And I'm going to pick on this point. This gives me x1 and y1. Y minus 6 equals that slope, 7/5, x minus a -1. The reason I chose this pair is because that become positive. Y minus 6 equals 7/5 x plus 7/5. And I'm going to have to move that over. Y equals 7/5 of x plus 7/5 plus 6. Now, by hand, I know that I have to have a common denominator to add two fractions. So by hand, I change 6 into 30/5. Because 5 times 6 is 30, or 30 over 5 is 6, whatever you want to think about it. This becomes y equals 7/5 of x plus 37/5. There's my answer. Sadly, and you people will be allowed to vote pretty soon, most of you can't add fractions and numbers together. I typed it in a calculator, math answer frac, 37/5. I told you. In matrix M, the entries represent students in classroom. Column 1 represents males, column 2 represents females. There is no third column. Row 1 represents short people. Row 2 represents tall people. And you are asked to interpret the following things. M subscript 11, that is row 1, column 1. Row 1, column 1 tells me that there are 3 short males. Because that's what it is. M22 would be row 2, column 2. It's that guy right there. It tells me there's 1 tall female. That's an easy question. And oh my Lanta, y'all are going to screw it up. You are going to screw it up so much. God love you. All right, you're supposed to find the scalar product, 5 times vector v. That would be 5 times a -2 followed by 5 times a 5, which is -10, 25. That's what she is. That's the component form. Now, what happened to the magnitude? The old was the square root of 2 squared plus 5 squared, which is root 27. All right. Which, by the way, does simplify 3 root 3. Sorry, 29. Root 29. The new is the square root of 10 squared plus 25 squared, which is quite a bit bigger. 25 squared is not on your quizzes, but it's 625. So this is the square root of 725. Now you probably have no idea what the relationship between those two numbers is. But here's root 29. It's about 5.39. And a root 725 is about 26.93. Now I'm using rounded numbers Well, actually, if into my calculator, I can just use the decimal. I bet I get 5. I did. The magnitude is 5 times the old. There's two things I can figure out. I can also talk about direction. In the old vector, it would have been the arctangent of 2/5. All right. Arctangent of 2/5 is about 21.80 degrees. The new vector, the 5v, is going to be the arctangent of 10/25. I bet it's the same thing. It is. So the component form is different. The magnitude is 5 times as much, but the angle or the direction is the same. Those are the three things you have to know about scalar multiplication and what it does to a vector. Here we have a parallelogram. It has a vertex at the origin. It is identified by the vectors 3, 7, and -4y. It has a known area of 25 square units. So what are the possible values of y? So if I form my matrix, it would be 3, -4, x is in the top row, 7y, y is in the bottom row. And the determinant of this matrix would have to equal 25, because we talked about this in class. If your 7th period, we did it Tuesday. If your 6th period, we did it Tuesday. Everybody else did it Wednesday, but the area of a parallelogram, I can't spell, is the determinant of a matrix. That's what it is. And the area is known to be 25. So I'm going to follow my little determinant formula. 3y minus 7 times a -4. Forgot something. Absolute values. The absolute value of that is 25. Now I can clean this up. The absolute value of 3y plus 28 must be 25. Remember, I said values. I have to have two equations. 3y plus 28 is 25, or -3y minus 28 is 25. If I subtract 28, I get -3. I get y is -1. If I add 28, I get 53. I divide by -3, and y is -53 thirds. One of them is not a bad looking number, the other one's not. This last one looks intimidating, but it's not. It's the inverse lesson, which was 10.5. You're supposed to fill out a matrix equation, pick out what A, B, C, and D are and such. And it's not too bad. These guys are the coefficients. And what we'll do is we'll think about the first matrix being I guess about labor. So we have 12 in labor, 13 in labor, an X that I don't know yet, but I spent 34,000 on labor. And the next one is going to be about material. And I've got 9, I've got 11. Y is something I have to solve. and I spent $27.5 on material. Now, the way these work is we take the inverse of this one, this is a 2x1, and I kind of didn't get myself enough room here. We multiply by the inverse of the first matrix. Find that product, and you get x and y. So it's not too bad. Switch over to my little TI-84 here. Second matrix edit. A is a 2x2. B is a 2x1. And just follow the process here. I'm supposed to take the inverse of A. I'm supposed to multiply it by B. And there's my answers. I got in the calculator 1100 and 1600. So this tells me how much I spent. Apparently I made 1100 sunglasses and 1600 safety glasses. That's what I did. Sorry, I got really tired and I lost my place. Now what you're going to see here is some stuff you have to fill out. Your A value was 13, all right? Your B value was 9. Your C value was 11. The D value was 34,000. The E value was 27.5. The X value ended up being 1100. And the Y value ended up being 1600. It's been a long day, and I'm done. And I'm going to make another one of these tomorrow, and I'm going to make another video tomorrow, so that you have all the stuff you need to do well on a test. It's not me. It's you. You need to understand that. It's not me. It's you.